The acid taste of betrayal filled my mouth as my father's words cut through the hotel lobby. "Get this beggar out." The security guard's hand hovered near my elbow, not quite touching, but clearly waiting for permission to remove me forcibly from my own family's celebration. I watched my mother's eyes dart away from mine, finding sudden fascination with the marble floor. My sister Patricia's smirk bloomed slowly, like she'd been waiting for this moment, this public execution of my place in the family. The banquet hall doors stood open behind them, revealing glimpses of gold-rimmed plates and crystal champagne flutes, all bearing the monogram I had personally selected from the vendor catalog 3 weeks earlier. The champagne tower my mother had insisted on sparkled under chandeliers I'd paid extra to have cleaned. My name is Rachel Walsh. I'm 35, and this is the story of how I reclaimed my worth when my family confused my generosity for weakness. I didn't scream or create the scene they clearly expected. Instead, I straightened my spine, adjusted my purse strap, and walked away with measured steps. The click of my heels against marble echoed through the lobby, the only sound marking my exit from a celebration I'd financed to the last appetizer. In my car, I sat motionless for exactly 67 seconds, watching the dashboard clock tick forward as my breathing steadied. Then I opened my banking app. The interface was familiar. I'd been making these payments methodically for months. $7,200 banquet catering. Reversed. $12,000 honeymoon flights for Patricia. Canceled. $4,800 spa weekend for mom and her book club. Terminated. $52,000 ongoing payments on dad's prized beach condo. FROZEN. Total $76,000, all under my LLC, all legally mine to control. By the time I unlocked my front door, my phone displayed 56 missed calls, some from family, others from vendors I'd contracted. My finger hovered over the notifications, then dismissed them all with a single swipe. I had just settled on my couch when the pounding started. Through the peephole, I saw Patricia's husband, Nicholas, his perfectly styled hair now disheveled, his face flushed with what I recognized as the particular shade of entitlement meeting its first real obstacle. I opened the door but blocked the entrance with my body. "You need to fix this," he barked, dispensing with pleasantries. "They just canceled the banquet food. The hotel won't release the rooms, and our honeymoon tickets got voided mid-check-in." I leaned against the door frame, an unexpected calm settling over me. Strange. Sounds like someone didn't verify who actually owned those payments. Nicholas blinked, his confusion genuine. "You did this because they kicked you out?" "No," I said, the word clean and precise. "I did this because they forgot the one rule of biting the hand that feeds you. Make sure the hand isn't holding the receipts." His eyes darted past me into my apartment, searching for something. Perhaps signs of regret, or maybe even our parents hiding inside, orchestrating this financial ambush. I reached for the thick blue folder on my entryway table and held it up but didn't offer it to him. Inside, signed contracts with my LLC listed as financial sponsor, cancellation clauses with my name as sole authority, payment reversals processed within the hour of their betrayal. "I warned them 3 years ago," I said, my voice level. "I told them if they treated me like a bank, I'd start acting like a banker." His jaw tightened. "You're punishing the whole family." The smile that formed on my lips surprised even me. "No, I'm protecting my investment and cutting my losses." "They're your parents," he said, voice rising as if the biological connection trumped the public humiliation they'd orchestrated. "They called me a beggar," I replied simply. He had no response for that, just turned away, muttering about lawyers and taking this higher. I watched him retreat, his expensive shoes squeaking slightly against the hallway floor. When I closed the door, I walked directly to my desk and placed the blue folder down, then opened a new one labeled Inheritance Audit. Phase 2. The calm precision of organizing documents filled the next few hours, a methodical counterpoint to the chaos erupting in the Walsh family group chats. Morning brought 32 emails. My mother's stood out. "We didn't mean what we said." Emotions were high. "Can we talk?" My father sent nothing but a forwarded invoice from the venue, now demanding payment with late fees attached. The most revealing message came from my cousin Taylor, a screenshot from the family thread I'd been excluded from for years. Rachel's always been sensitive. She'll come crawling back. She always does. I laughed, then replied to the entire group. Just a reminder, I own the crawl space and the locks were changed. No one responded. But later that afternoon, a message appeared from an unexpected source. My parents' accountant, Ethan. Do you have time to discuss some irregularities? I've noticed the payments to your parents' beach condo haven't been coming from their trust, but from an LLC I've never seen before. I confirmed it was mine, then asked the question I'd been holding for 3 years. Have they declared that condo as their asset in annual filings? His response was delayed, careful. They claimed it was an inheritance gift from a private family investor. No documentation provided. The implications crystallized instantly. They hadn't just excluded me. They'd built equity in a property I technically still owned, while presenting it to friends, family, and tax authorities as their own achievement. I contacted my lawyer, Nathan, immediately. How quickly can we serve papers making that condo and every unpaid cent legally untouchable? 48 hours, he replied. Perfect, I said. Because this isn't about family anymore. It's about fraud. By noon the next day, the papers were drafted. A cease and desist for slander, misrepresentation, and unauthorized use of funds, plus a property reassignment filing that stripped away any verbal claim my parents had over the beach condo. Nathan slid the documents across his desk. They'll try to call your bluff. I smiled. They already did. That banquet was the bluff. The process server confirmed delivery an hour later, and the family celebration transformed into financial reckoning. That night, my mother left a voicemail, her voice wavering between tears and indignation. You're destroying us over what? A misunderstanding? You always do this. Always so dramatic. There it was, the word they'd used to silence me since childhood. Dramatic. The label applied whenever I refused to accept the family narrative, the word that transformed legitimate grievances into character flaws. She continued, if you follow through with this, people will talk. Church, the neighborhood, your father's reputation, always the performance, the appearance of unity, the illusion of the perfect Walsh family. I let the voicemail sit unacknowledged because something more consequential arrived the next morning, a message from my accountant. Account transfer confirmed. Beach condo title finalized. It was done. Legally, irrevocably. Their prized retirement showcase now permanently separated from their financial portfolio, and the taxes they'd dodged now filed with interest. Nathan emailed shortly after. You've closed every door. Want to take it one step further? Yes, I wrote back. Full audit. Start with the family trust. I want to know where every dollar went since 2017. Because they hadn't just called me a beggar. They'd built their banquet on my back. And now the invoice was due. The trust audit revealed layers I hadn't anticipated. Nathan's forensic accountant uncovered systematic diversion of funds. $18,700 withdrawn the week I graduated college. Emergency repairs that manifested as Patricia's new kitchen. $9,000 labeled education expenses. Front row concert tickets and a spa weekend for my mother. $34,000 funneled into my father's antique car restoration. A vehicle he once described as a reward for raising such responsible children. They'd bled the account dry, then still had the audacity to call me a beggar. Is this criminal? I asked Nathan during our review. He nodded. It could be, if you wanted it to be. But I didn't want jail time for my parents. I wanted accountability. We filed a motion, request for financial recompense plus trust misuse documentation. They had 30 days to respond or settle privately. That's when the facade finally cracked. My mother texted, I'm scared, Rachel. Please don't ruin the family over money. We'll make it right. I stared at those words, noting what was missing. No apology, no acknowledgement, just fear. The only language they truly understood. I responded with one line. Ruin? You're confusing ruin with reveal. The next day, Patricia posted on social media, "Some people only show up when there's money involved. Glad I know who my real family is." I didn't engage. They could say anything they wanted online, but in court, every word required proof, every signature verification, every dollar accounting. On day 22, their lawyer reached out. His tone was clipped, his language desperate behind legal terminology. He offered a private settlement. $50,000 in restitution, no admission of wrongdoing, and a mutual non-disclosure agreement. Nathan chuckled when he read it. "They're trying to seal the cracks before the neighbors peek in." I declined. This wasn't about money anymore. It was about creating an official record, proof that I wasn't just the black sheep. I was the scapegoat, the silent benefactor, the unpaid lifeline. On day 25, my father broke his silence. He appeared at my office, the career they'd dismissed as your little side gig, and asked to talk. I remained seated as he stood in the doorway, hat literally in hand, his pride visibly diminished. "You've made your point," he said, "but you're about to ruin us. Are you proud of that?" I studied him. The man who once told a room full of relatives that Patricia was the real success story, and replied calmly, "No, I'm not proud. I'm tired. Tired of funding your life while being written out of your legacy." When he tried to interrupt, I raised my hand. "You all called me a beggar." So I stopped giving, and suddenly everyone remembered what I was worth. He didn't apologize. He didn't cry. He simply placed a folded check on my desk. Blank, but signed. I slid it back to him. This was never about your money. It was about mine. After he left, I opened my inbox to find a notification from the court system. Trust disbursement fraud, preliminary hearing scheduled. The date was set, and this time, they'd have to appear not to celebrate, but to answer. The hearing date rippled through the family like a cracked pipe. Quiet at first, then flooding every group chat I'd been excluded from. Cousin Taylor forwarded me the messages, having switched sides after seeing the evidence Nathan had gathered. They hadn't believed I'd follow through. They expected silence, shame, compliance. The familiar pattern of the one pushed aside, maintaining peace while they feasted. But this time, I wasn't the help. I was the witness. Nathan and I prepared meticulously. Timeline, account statements, screenshots of messages asking me to spot them just this once. All the invisible IOUs made visible. The night before the hearing, Patricia messaged me for the first time since the banquet. "If you go through with this, I swear I'll never forgive you." No apology, no denial, just a warning, as if my peace required her permission. I didn't reply, recognizing that some people don't want reconciliation. They want reinstatement of the version of you who stayed quiet. The courtroom felt sterile. My parents sat across the aisle, backs rigid, beside a lawyer who kept checking his watch. The judge asked straightforward questions. Nathan answered with indisputable mathematics. He projected charts demonstrating how the condo payments came from my LLC, how the trust had been siphoned for personal gain, vacations, spa days, cars, all under the pretense of family needs. My parents' attorney objected, citing informal arrangements and dismissing everything as a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. The judge remained unmoved. She turned to me and asked, "What outcome are you seeking, Ms. Walsh?" I stood, voice steady. "Truth on paper, that's all. Let the record match reality." She nodded gravely, and with that, my name was no longer a footnote in their finances. It was the headline. For once, the room went quiet without anyone needing to escort me out. They didn't speak to me after the hearing. No calls, no letters, no, "We didn't mean it." Just silence. The kind that comes when a performance ends and the lights go dark. The judgment wasn't criminal. No handcuffs or headlines. But it was binding. The court ordered restitution of misused funds, not to me, but back into the trust where it belonged. The condo's title was permanently transferred to my name, and my parents were removed from any future financial access to assets they hadn't earned. Nathan called it elegant justice. I called it balance. Weeks passed. My phone remained blissfully quiet. No requests, no emergencies, no guilt trip asks for just a little help this month. Then one envelope arrived. No stamp, no return address, simply slid under my door, inside. A single photograph of the family banquet, everyone dressed in silver and navy, clinking glasses under crystal chandeliers. In the background, blurry but unmistakable. Me, captured mid-turn, mid-leaving. The moment they erased me, accidentally preserved. On the back, someone had written, "This was the moment it all fell apart." I held it for a long time, then walked it to the shredder, because what fell apart wasn't family. It was the illusion of it. The one they'd built with my money, my silence, my need to belong. And once that illusion burned away, what remained wasn't ashes, it was freedom. I created a new folder that day. Walsh Foundation, a grant for first-generation women putting themselves through school without family support. The initial funding came from a condo sale. Mine. The beach property sold for $680,000, which after paying off the remaining mortgage of $210,000, left more than enough to establish the foundation with a solid financial base. I finalized the divorce from my husband of 7 years, 3 months after the court hearing, a relationship that had been strained by my family's constant financial demands and his growing resentment toward them. Before you go, here's a quick bonus for sticking around. If you love learning and growing like I do, you need to try audiobooks. I've got an exclusive deal with Audible. Your first month is completely free. That's access to over 500,000 titles. Zero cost to you. All the details are waiting in the description. Don't miss this one.